Simulcast, the Neil Haley Show, and the Cutting Edge Benefits Podcast with our host, Tom Quigley of ClaimLinx. Tom, we use you for this breaking news, and this breaking news is not really good news at all. The National Health Insurance enrollment through the Affordable Care Act is projected to plunge by nearly 5 million people this year. And I want to know what you know as you predicted this, and this is something that is really bad news, isn't it?
Well, it's the insurance carriers are going to be crying to the government, state departments of insurance, and federal government to raise rates again because they don't have the people, because they all dropped it because they didn't have the enhanced subsidies anymore. So when they did the enhanced subsidies, what they did is they inflated the number of people who got onto the marketplace. So now they pull them out. People, I know several people who've done that. They just said, "Hey, I can't afford 1,100 a month when I was paying $10. No way."
I mean, it's crazy to be able to increase it like this, and there was no real warning. And that's another tax increase,
Well,
by the
there
way.
was they subsided, sunsetted at the end of 25, but everyone just assumed they were going to renew them, and they never did.
And isn't it funny that we don't see the conversation on this topic as much as raised gas prices? Gas prices, increase probably family $200 plus a little bit of more of increase on groceries. That's nothing to do compared to healthcare costs.
Well, I mean, like I said, people said I'm not paying 1,100 a month when I was paying $10 a month. I'm 62, 63. I'll wait to Medicare. I'll roll the dice, or I'll buy one of those, if I'm healthy, Christian mingle plans, or shared plans they call.
So the policy shifts, the loss of enhanced federal premium tax credits alongside newly passed legislation measures has fundamentally altered marketplace access and eligibility. So they even how do they all eligibility rules change?
I mean, I believe they shrank some of the time frames. You had to have a and they've made you have to prove a few more things. Nothing major or earth-shattering on that end. The earth-shattering news was they didn't renew the enhanced subsidies. That's why everybody is going uninsured, or they're buying alternate plans that aren't ACA compliant because they have no other choices.
Because that
And they're
cost has increased. That's like increasing to a certain level. And President Trump did have some ideas for this, but nothing's getting moving. It's
Well, how can
interesting.
it? Everyone's fighting. The Senate, I mean, nothing's happening. I mean, it's just all, they're moving chairs on the Titanic, right? I mean, whoop-de-doo. What you have to do though is, like I'll give you an example. I had a couple up here in Maine, Freiburg, Maine, and they were paying um, $28 a month for husband and wife, and then their subsidies, they lost them, and she chose to stay insured for $700, and he chose his was going to be like 1,200, and he's like, I'm not paying that. So he's uninsured, and she's got coverage for $700.
Unreal, Tom, when you think about these things. And the increases are
So,
ridiculous. Talking about $3,500 a month for a family or more, or 5,000. It's like you're paying more for healthcare than you would pay for your house. You're paying for
well,
more in
I've said
healthcare
that for
than
years. That's been like, I've told companies they'd be better off paying for everyone's mortgage or rent and let them pay the variables, the taxes, and the insurance on that. At least it's fixed for 30 years then.
so
And run it off as a payroll expense. But the problem is, businesses, yeah, their rates going up 20, 30, 40%. Um, and it's just like, just do the math. You got to buy it differently. So if you do get the 20, 30% rate increases, it's based off $200 versus $700. I mean, it's just you know, insane what people are not doing.
So why do you think in so many ways things could change? Will they change the healthcare costs?
They either will, or you're going to have 30 million go uninsured. People can't afford it. Even working for a company, the companies are asking them to pay ridiculous amounts. And I mean, it would be like, why don't you guys save the money and let your employees pay less? But
Well, and that's your plan. That's probably the
yeah,
only plan out there. You're the architect with your wife, Christy, and basically you've come up with a plan that
yeah,
will still provide great benefits for their employees, but not kill the employee or the employer, right? In price.
they're smart, but people are, you know, it's crazy. And then the hospitals don't help things out, where the pharmaceuticals, they're just as corrupt as the others. And the departments of insurance aren't much better. I mean, you're running with thieves, like I've always said. I mean, you got people
Get
working
on
off on
board.
how much you pay, you know?
Exactly. And so I'm thinking, and I think what's going to be really important to this, Tom, moving forward with is that we're going to have to figure out, could you see ever insurance like other countries, like Canada and stuff, where you don't see insurance companies ever going that route because it's a much more money insurance companies make in the United States and all over the world. If you ever saw the possibility of universal health care and all that, what is the biggest challenge that would not make it happen? Because you've talked about this for 25, 30 years, I'm sure.
And like I said before, you put a 50,000 deductible on every American. If they want to buy insurance, let them. If they want to self-fund it, let them. Um, and take away the insurance company's ability to gouge you. And it's the problem now is if you go uninsured, you have no coverage there's no, the hospitals, everybody is crazy. I mean, if they did that, I wouldn't buy insurance myself. Why would I? I'd take $50,000 risk each year.
Yeah, and stay healthier and put your money and spend it on doctors you really want to
Oh,
spend
I would
money on.
buy, accident, like I have a critical illness plan and those things that pay you, and there's your money for your out of pocket. I wouldn't need to go and buy this ridiculous stuff. And then when you got to fight with the insurance companies to get them to pay anyways, and fight with the hospitals to get them to bill it correctly and try not to double bill you. It's just the whole system is
And why? Because you've studied healthcare for so long. You've written a book too, Tom, on this, right?
up three of them. Yeah.
Three of those books.
Hmm.
And that what if we decided, let's just go what, a lot of people are talking that are anti that want to say universal health care. And let's say it becomes Canada, which have had lots of conversations in Canada, they can't fund it. The UK, they really can't fund it. Would this ever possibly work in the United States? And why would not be a good idea to have
But
universal
what I
health care?
said is the only way, you gotta have everyone with skin in the game. And, you know, again, there's programs out there people can do now that direct primary care, all kinds of things they can do. But the problem is they're not doing them. So the employer-based system can work, but the employer-based system can't provide. I mean, the whole objective why they provide benefits is to retain and attract employees. But the way they're going about it makes zero sense. So they would
Mhm.
change their methodology and um, come to reality. They can provide their employees better benefits.
Thinking about pre-existing conditions
There
before
is no such
Obama,
thing.
there was no before the considered pre-existing conditions till Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act.
Actually, the
That's
HIPAA
kind of
laws changed that.
really it's oh, so no longer ever can be
The
pre.
Affordable Care Act made it silly. The HIPAA laws originally, if you were coming off a group and you had coverage for X amount of months, 18, I believe, then there was no pre-existing conditions. So what happened there was the ACA came and they changed it where you had to have unlimited, you have to cover maternity on guys, and you're taking it's just they need to tweak it is what they need to do, and allow people to have the ability to, if they're healthy, to get cheaper plans.
But you can speak to both sides of the aisle, Tom. That's the
Yeah.
truth. Because ultimately, what the Republicans want to do, where they don't cover kids after 25, don't do all these different things, get rid of pre-existing conditions, which you said you can't get rid of, do all these different things, and say go back to the way it was before the Affordable Care Act.
Mm-hmm.
It just would be impossible in this environment and this type of
Mm-hmm.
thing for it to work, right?
Now the government could subsidize the high risk pools, um, and on the employers, that would save trillions of dollars. Because the whole issue is you got systems in place for profit, and you got the government that's nonprofit dictating what can be done, and then they have the departments of insurance police it who get premium tax based on premium. So the whole system's just it's corrupt. It's
Which
like,
you've
if you
always
want to,
said. Yeah.
it's corrupt,
It
fix
is
it.
totally is. And so kind of studying universal health care in other countries, none of those work, right? Just straight where the government pays health care completely.
Well, people can buy other insurance plans where they can go to not have to wait 6 months for a bypass, or
Oh, really? Okay. So certain people that, so when you talk about
depends
universal
on
health
the
care,
countries.
hmm
But the hospitals, there's hospitals around this country that there's one in Texas, the cancer place in Texas. They take Medicare, but they won't take individual marketplace plans. Moffitt, I think. No, it's not Moffitt. It's one of them. I don't want to really name, but anyways, this cancer center down in the Houston area. I'm sitting there just saying to them, so you won't accept marketplace plans that pay more than Medicare, but you take Medicare. They could make it, instead of being so greedy, they could all be taking these plans, but they are trying to make it difficult because they're corrupt.
Well, there's going to be a huge changes in healthcare. I have a topic for next week that will be interesting and be really not related as much to health insurance, but it'd be a pretty interesting one. So go to claimlinx.com. You can schedule a call with Tom today and his team. And ultimately, this is the best way to give the best benefits for your employees and also save money at the same time, and really understand that you're going to be treated right versus going to the place where you're going to be on the phone for 3 hours with customer service or doing or dealing with other things and they have no idea what they're doing. So appreciate it, Tom.
Take care. Thank you.
That was a special simulcast Neil Haley show and the Cutting Edge Benefits podcast, guys. Take care.